okay, we're a couple days into training camp, and already there's some guys that are rising, some guys that are standing out. So, Craig, we always want to just point that out, see where we're at.
Mhm.
And so, if you had to guess, like what would there be a couple guys that you would hope or that you would expect to be risers and kind of standing out? Like, who would those guys be? As I pull up the article to kind of look at who those guys are, who would you guess would be in that list?
Yeah, so when you're talking risers, people that have to be on that list have to meet usually certain criteria, right? One would be they weren't as high on the depth chart because if you're already number one, how are you a riser?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're not necessarily a riser. You're just exceeding expectations if you're now going from being a starter to like really good. So I would think that they'd be guys that are usually second, third string on the depth chart. I also look for guys that have kind of recently changed position or have positional versatility because then all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe they changed. Last year it was Godwin Igwebuike,
Mm.
right? It's just like, oh, dude's rising and he's playing well. And it's just like, is he? He was a safety like 3 weeks ago. Are you telling me he's going to be an NFL running back? That doesn't make any sense. So I look for stuff like that. So I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe like an
So
Iffy Melifonwu, a Will Harris, like one of those guys that you're like, I didn't expect it.
exactly. You answered my question perfectly because that's kind of what I was looking for.
Okay.
And when we look at this, as I pull this up, Pride of Detroit again was there. They gave us some risers. We highlight three of them. The first one is our guy, Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh,
And you nailed it. And doesn't this kind of seem like, wait a second, all
what?
we've heard is great things, and he's still like trending up, doing even
How?
better? Like, when does it stop? It's just like I don't know what to think here.
Like, let's look at the process. So we drafted him. Everybody was like, yes, this is so much better than what we could have had. We thought he was going number one. So everybody's excited about it. Then he reports to rookie mini camp and he's unbelievable. And he's like, he's the real deal. He has better bend than we thought. Then he goes to OTAs. And it's like, dude is a man on a mission. He won't stop. Like he's better than we thought he was going to be. Now we're in training camp and it's the same thing. It's like,
Dude,
okay,
absolutely.
great.
So as we look at this article, it's just like, okay, he's exclusively on the first team. And
Great, as he absolutely should. And I know it's early, but he better not have spent more than 2 practices behind Julian Okwara.
yeah,
That's all I have to say. Like
just don't
Julian
even.
Okwara, nice. Come on, he's the number 2 pick.
Absolutely. And, it's just this is what you would expect to hear. And you made a great point when we first started doing some reporting on the OTAs. It's like, this was not happening last year.
Right.
There was not a lot. It was a lot of, hey, there's new energy, there's this, but where's like the real meat and potatoes of guys making moves, doing things, looking
Yeah.
good? We really didn't have it. Now we're hearing Jared Goff's looking just better. And
Yeah.
these guys are just going to
Comfy.
naturally, look better in
Mhm.
certain areas. I get that. It's year 2, they're here, but this is like above and beyond. Pride of Detroit, they're there. They have no reason to amp him up. If anything, it'd be a story if he wasn't exceeding
Absolutely.
expectations. That would be the
You
story.
almost, for just clicks, you almost hope some players are playing poorly because not us, we're the eternal optimists here, but like you almost hope some players are writing or playing poorly because if you're Pride of Detroit, if you're us, like how many videos, how many articles can you put out that says Aiden Hutchinson is better than we all thought?
Exactly.
Like this is article number 17 where we're saying that, and this is video number 8. Like it's great. So all that to be said, like when you pick number 2, you need it to hit. We all felt the pain of picking high with Okuda and it not hitting in the first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to hit, and all signs point to this hitting.
Absolutely. So love that one. Let's go on to number 2. This one,
Okay.
a little surprise, a little interesting. It's our guy Will Harris. And
Will the
so
thrill.
Coach Campbell said, we know he can play safety. We're putting him at corner. We know that if we need him at safety, he can do it, but we're going to practice, training camp, everything at corner. He's like, he loves his versatility, jack of all trades, says he's big, physical, can play in the run. Basically going on and on about
Special teams.
Yeah, special teams. Yeah. Will Harris to do the nickel. I mean, this is a surprising one for me because we've kind of written him off. I did. I wrote wrote him off. Hey, good depth piece. Maybe he sticks
Yeah.
around. He'll be gone when his contract's done. I'm not looking for him to do stuff, but Will Harris is this guy. It's like, oh, wait a second. Weren't you a 3rd-round pick? Weren't you like a safety that we needed and we drafted you, and you haven't really, like, we need you. And if corner's the fit, hey, great. And so this is a great report to see that he's trending up.
When you watch Will Harris play, he does things where you're like, what was that? But he also does things where you say to yourself, like, this guy has the skills. He has the athleticism. Like, he does good things. He looks good in his pads. I know that's silly, but it's a real thing. And you just wonder what's going on. And then I think back and I think about Will Harris under Patricia, and I think it was year 2. And he was just like, hey, I'm trying to do everything the coaches are asking me to do. And you just got this feeling that he was, 1, overwhelmed, and 2, is being asked to do things that just flat out weren't his strengths.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden last year, 1, he's starting to play a little bit better at safety. I think that's safe to say. But also, you look and all of a sudden you're like, you hear Dan Campbell and you hear some of the coaches talking about, like, he's actually a pretty good natural corner. And like, it's like, why would they say that? Like,
Right.
unless they really saw something, why would they let us on that information?
Yep.
And so all of a sudden last year, like, okay. And we all thought when we drafted Iffy, like, is he going to be a corner? I think he's going to end up being a safety. So if Will Harris is better at corner, and then Iffy's like, yeah, that's a natural move to safety, and they can just make the swap. I'm kind of for it. And this coaching staff has proven with a couple of different players, like, all right, we can do a position change, and it actually ends up being really good.
Yeah. And you said it exactly. Will Harris will make a play out there that you're like, dude, nice, man.
Yeah.
Who was that? Oh, it was Will Harris. And then he's nowhere to be found for 2 games, and it's just like, man, maybe he didn't play. No, he started, didn't break up a pass, didn't get a tackle,
Right.
didn't do anything. So Will Harris, that would be a huge bonus for us. Last one, Craig, is what a guy with a great first name, Craig Reynolds.
Oh, what a name.
What a
strong,
great Craig.
Powerful. Integrity is the word I must
Craig,
use for that name.
I think, man. So
all right, and half the people stopped watching.
Yeah. So the half people are still here. Craig Reynolds. I mean, you watch him run, and I don't know what it is about like a good running back where you're just like, okay, I love it. Like, he's got that quick burst, good vision. He takes a run that should be 2 yards and it's 4 yards, and you're like, okay, good job, Craig. What are your thoughts on him? And good to see him be a early riser.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to see him be an early riser. I'd be really interested with a guy like that. He hadn't had a lot of opportunity until he got to Detroit, and even then it was just limited amount. He played well in the games he played behind a kind of banged up offensive line. I'm interested to see what, like, the width of his skill set is. Like, is he just a smaller running back that is going to get unexpected yards? Or is he a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield? What does his pass blocking look like? I mean, like, all the other little things that a running back has to do, can he do that? Can he be the guy that if Swift or Williams goes down, can play 40% of the snaps in a game? Like, is he that running back? And if he is, like, sweet. And we already have it on the roster. I think in that same article, it said that Greg Bell had what appeared to be a pretty serious leg injury. That's not a great idea. The undrafted free agent. I don't know if that's, I think I read that, but so I'm not reporting like factual news here. That's just what I thought I read. And so he kind of needs to be that guy, especially with Godwin Igwebuike proving that he doesn't know how not to fumble the ball at the end of last year.
Yeah. Craig Reynolds, that's a great point because of his story, and just we were 0-10. He comes in, he's on the couch, so he gets a 10-yard run. You're like, let's go.
Yeah,
like Barry Sanders. Yeah, we found our next Barry, and it's like, hold on,
yeah,
because you just picture him being like a Joe Blow that's just gonna go out there and not do anything, and he gets a 12-yard run, and you're just like, I love this guy. So to your point, what is he really? Is he a true, good running back?
Yeah.
Was it just
he's
kind
a third
of
running back, a fourth running back? Is he?
Yeah, we just throw him in. So I'm just excited to see where he really falls, where his skill set really is, and is he like a good story mostly? And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, he can run a little bit, or is it like, man, he's a great third running back. You know there's going to be injuries. You know he's going to have a couple games where he's going to get most of the load. So excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I think his new nickname's Hulu, by the way. I think they redid that. And so yeah, I think it looks like great. He's firmly number 3. Happy to hear it. Thank you.
Firmly number 3. And then we'll give you a bonus one. Craig, anything
bonus?
on Austin Bryant? I mean, there's a name that you're just like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you're on the team.
Yeah. The reason you forget he's on the team is because he's hurt 82% of the time. And so like I'm sure if we went back a year ago and 2 years ago, his name would be on the trending up list too, because when he's healthy, he can play football. He's really big. He's like tall. Like he looks weird out there, but like, he's a good football player. He's just always hurt. And so when I looked at Austin Bryant, I always thought like he does what, Flowers did, just not quite as well, but he also does what Flowers did recently, which is being hurt a lot. So I love seeing him on the trending up, but at the same time, I hate to say this. This isn't a slight at Austin Bryant because he can't help when he gets hurt. I'll believe it when I see it because I've never seen him play more than like 2-3 games.
That's a great point. He is a prime candidate for a rising star because he's just hasn't played, but if you can
in
play
the league for 3 years, just haven't been able to see him much.
That's right. So hey, make sure you subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on this. We're excited as we've just got a couple days in camp already, ready for
we're moving in. It's real.
It's real. It's happening. So make sure you subscribe and hit this like button, comment, and we'll see you on the next one.